Hey guys, it's Melanie Ham. Welcome back to my channel. A few years ago, I put up this video. It's my #1 video on YouTube. I have loved seeing your creations with that video. Here's a few of my favorites. One of my most asked questions on that video is, can I put a border on it? So today's video is how to put a border on my crochet baby blanket video. And I also created this blanket with a smaller hook, and you can see kind of how different it looks than the peach one. The peach one I gave away as a gift. I had no idea how popular that video is going to be, and so that's gone. But now I've got this one. If you are like me and cannot get enough of making these blankets with the blanket yarn, I have two other ones for you guys. They are over on my premium site, melaniesmakers.com. We've got this purple one. This is actually a granny square, like oversized granny square. And then we've got this one, which is my border blanket with this like unreal texture. I mean, it's amazing. You can use the coupon code CUDDLE for 10% off. I appreciate all of the support on my premium courses. They are what help to keep my channel going. Okay, so here we are. I have done 2 balls of yarn, and I'm about to add my 3rd ball of yarn and then do the border. So I'm going to use up maybe a quarter or third of this ball of yarn to make the body of the blanket a little bit larger, and then we'll add the border with this same ball so that you can make this blanket with 3 balls of the yarn. So my foundation chain was 72, and remember with this blanket, if you need to watch the original tutorial, please do. I used an L hook on this version. A lot of people like a little bit more condensed look, a little bit more full look rather than the spaces between the stitches being so large as in the peach one. So remember, we skip a chain, we double crochet here. So we'll double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, 2 loops, yarn over, 2 loops. And again, we need 2 double crochets in that stitch. So then we'll keep going that all the way across, and then that sort of weaves in those tails for you. You do want to double check everything at the end and make sure that they are secure, because you may need to sort of weave in a little bit more thoroughly at the end and just make sure that they will hold up in the wash. All right, so it's 2 double crochet, skip a chain, 2 double crochet, skip 2, skip 2, skip 2, all the way to the end. And so let's do this for a few more rows, and then I will meet you back here to do our border. This kind of yarn, these kind of real thick yarns, do better with a very, very simple border. And I'm going to go ahead and stay with that, especially for my beginners out there. But you can also modify this pattern and use any yarn you like. So if you like a little bit finer look, or you found a yarn that you just really love, as long as you have the same multiples, you can modify this pattern for any type of blanket that you wish, or any type of yarn that you wish. All right, everybody, so I am ready to start my border. So what we're going to do first is, once you get going, if you're going to do any sort of decoration or decorative border beyond just a single crochet or double crochet border, you need to do a single crochet foundation. So we're going to do a single crochet foundation border going all the way around, and then we'll continue on. So we have finished out our row. We're here on the left side of our blanket, and we're basically going to turn and begin going down the side of our blanket. This is the trickiest part in making a border, because there's not like an exact number of stitches you're supposed to put in there. Basically, you're going to put single crochet stitches all the way down. If you have too many stitches, you'll get a ripple. If you have too few stitches, it'll be all stretched out and it'll look like it needs another stitch in there. So this is a little bit of an eyeball, kind of a intuition sort of thing. And it also depends on what size hook you used, what size yarn you used, if you used a different kind of yarn, etc. So I will show you what I'm going to do, and then you can kind of modify it as you go. So because this is a double crochet and I'm going to be doing single crochet stitches, most of the time we're going to need to have 2 stitches in here. So let's take a look. I'm going to do it so that I only have 2 strands where I'm adding my border. Okay, so I insert my hook, yarn over, pull through both loops. That's a single crochet. It's a little bit smaller stitch. So then I'll go over here to the other part of the single crochet. I'm not going to go all the way into this space. I think that will just create a little bit too much bulk on the edge. If it was a thinner yarn, I might do that just for the ease of it. But because this yarn is so bulky, you have to be a little bit careful with it. So then I'm going to put another stitch here. And I want to at least make sure that there's 2 strands. Okay, that way it has something to grip onto, and it will create a more cohesive look going all the way down. Okay. There's another spot. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops. Now you can do a whole border just like this and just keep it a single crochet border going all the way around. I'm going to add a little flare to mine. So, but this is a totally fine way to also end blankets because it creates a nice, just simple edge. So you can see here, if I had really large stretches of yarn going through, you would need to add more stitches because we don't want it to be stretched. If it was rippling, that means I've got too many stitches in there. So that's the thing to look for as you're going down the side. Once we get down to the bottom and then back across the top, you can see these stitches a lot easier, and we'll basically just put 1 single crochet in each of these stitches. But down the side is where it's a little bit trickier. So go ahead and continue with the same method going all the way down the side. So here's how it looks going all the way down. Now when you get to the corner, you have to add a little extra so that it can go all the way around. So we need to add 3. Now I'm going to add everything into this stitch in here because I don't want to create this hole any bigger than it already is. So I'm going to add 3 in this corner. Insert, yarn over, pull through both loops. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So you can see how that gets a nice little corner going around. And then we're going to go back down the other direction. Now I'm going to take my tail and I'm going to just sort of hold that and run it along the side to weave it in as I go. That will save me a step later on. So basically every foundation chain will need a stitch, okay? So go ahead and continue that going all the way across that initial foundation chain. We're going to go back up the other side and then back across. So go ahead and finish all of that. And when you get back to right here where we began our initial single crochet border, I will meet you there and I'll show you the next steps. All right, so we are back around to the beginning. Don't forget when we started, we did not include 3 stitches in our corner. So we need to make sure to do that now. So we're going to finish up this initial single crochet border. There's that last stitch. And I'm going to add 2 more in here. Just make sure that that's laying flat. And then we will slip stitch it to that initial single crochet. And a slip stitch is insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and then continue pulling through the loop that was on your crochet hook. The stitches look quite a bit different with this type of yarn than with a standard like a DK or a worsted weight yarn. So this is a yarn that needs a simpler the better border. So what we're going to do is we're going to get started in this next stitch over. We're going to single crochet, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through both loops. Then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to place a single crochet in the same stitch. So insert your yarn in that same spot, single crochet. And we're going to create this little mini shell. but we're going to space them apart a little bit further. Because this yarn is so bulky, they need to be spaced apart so that they lay flat. So that's a little trick. If you are doing an edging, try spacing everything out a little bit further so it doesn't get all bunched up. So then we're going to do 2 slip stitches. So a slip stitch is to insert your hook, yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook. We're going to do that again in the next stitch over as well. So 2 slip stitches, and then we're going to do another little mini shell. So that is going to be a single crochet, 1, 2, chain 2, another single crochet in the same spot, and then we'll do slip stitch, slip stitch. So slip stitch, make sure that nothing's too tight on your hook, and then we'll do another single crochet, 1, 2, single crochet. And that's how the border is going to look. So continue that pattern going all the way down, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, slip stitch, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, slip stitch, and do that all the way down to the corner, and then I'll fill you in on how to do the corner so that it lays nice and flat. Okay, so here we are at the corner. I've gone all the way down to the end. But the biggest thing to keep in mind, because everybody might, start and end at a slightly different spot based on how many stitches they had along the side. The biggest thing is just to make sure that it curves around the corner flat. So you don't have any flags waving or anything stretching. So you might need to add or take away a few of the slip stitches, but it's going to sort of be kind of, based on what yours is looking like. So here's my little mini shell here, and then we've got 2, and then the next one will be right here in this corner. So we'll do our single crochet, 1, 2, single crochet in the same spot. And if you want your shell to land right on that corner, which I do recommend, trying to make sure that your little shell guy, it's not really a shell, but kind of, is right here in the corner, you might need to add or take away a slip stitch in order to make that happen. And, because this yarn is so bulky, it really won't be very noticeable if you do that. So then we'll just continue on with our slip stitch. 2 slip stitches, single crochet, 1, 2, single crochet in the same spot. And there it is going around the corner. Let me show you. Just like a little ripply edge. So that is all there is to it. You can take this and go all the way around, and then I'll show you how to finish it up. All right, so here we are back at the beginning, and I've done my 2 slip stitches. Let's finish up here. Okay, now remember, depending on where you want your last little shell to hit, which I want mine to be here, if I happen to have it right, but if I didn't, I would want to add or take away one of the slip stitches just to get it to be, to go where you want it to go. Here's our last little guy. All right, and then we'll do a slip stitch, and then we'll do another slip stitch just to get back in here and tie it off. So now what we'll do is we slip stitched so we can trim our edge. Make sure that you have a long enough tail that you could weave it in. So then just take that yarn through that loop and give it a tug. There's that corner. So now I want you to take this tail, and if you have any other tails that need to be completely woven in, then you can take a yarn needle like this and weave these in. So basically take it along the back side, and we're going to just kind of go back and forth, making sure that it's secure but also hidden. Kind of go back and forth. So you'll do this on all of the, hopefully you wove in the ends as you were going, but if not, like there's one guy over here that there's like a little tail left over, so I need to weave that in. That makes sure that it's secure and also holds up in the wash and holds up with your little one loving on it. So once you're confident that it's secure, you can trim it off, and then it's all done.